what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Mid-Level Media. And look, guys, today I'm going to do something a little bit different. I don't talk about streaming movies a whole lot on this channel. I don't talk about streaming services a whole lot on this channel. I talk about physical media, owning stuff physically, holding it in your hands. Well, today I've got nothing to show off. I've got no physical releases that I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about great movies that are on YouTube right now that you can watch for free. So I got this idea because I recently went on vacation and the road trip was like 11 hours there. We went to Myrtle Beach. It took us 11 hours to get there and it took us 11 hours to get back home. So I had quite a bit of free time to do whatever because my wife prefers to drive. So she does all the driving on these trips. She gets sick as a passenger, so she just likes to drive. And that works out for me because I get to, sit around and watch videos and movies on YouTube and just do whatever I want. Read. I did do a little reading as well. I actually finished a book on this vacation also. And my kids are kind of, they're old enough to kind of fend for themselves. They're on their tablets, they're on their phones, they're doing whatever. So I'm just kind of free to do whatever. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to watch a bunch of movies and I'm going to watch movies I've never seen. And I'm going through the selection. I almost thought about like downloading Tubi and getting on Hulu, getting on Netflix, because we have all those as well. But I started going through the selection of movies on YouTube and I'm like, damn, there's a lot of great movies for free that you can watch on YouTube. And I tried to pick stuff that I did not have in the collection, also stuff that I had never seen before, because even if it's a movie that was on there that I hadn't seen before, but I knew that I had it on Blu-ray, I'm like, well, I want my first watch of that to be on the Blu-ray that I have at home because I bought it. I want to be able to get my money's worth with that Blu-ray. So I watched all movies that I did not own in the collection yet. On YouTube. I watched 8 movies in total. But of course, since I'm a physical media channel, I am going to be talking about the availability of some of these films on Blu-ray and DVD in case you do want to purchase these and own some of these titles, because I'll be honest, some of these I'm actually going to probably seek out and grab physically because I enjoyed them so much my first time watching them. But this is also just a way for me to talk about some cool movies that I watched that I don't have physical media versions attached to, but I still get to talk about the movies because that's ultimately like why I created this channel, to talk about the movies that I watch with you all. Like that, this is my outlet for doing that. So I wanted a kind of excuse to do that as well. But before we get into it, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Most of the time I talk about physical releases and things like that. Things like Jason Goes to Hell on 4K, Fistful of Dollars on 4K. I talk about cool editions, on this channel, Blu-rays and 4Ks. So if you like that kind of stuff, hit the subscribe button. But I also want to get into doing more of this type of content, even if it is like streaming only type stuff. I'll see how this video does. If you guys enjoyed, I may do more of these down the line because there's a lot of free stuff online that you can check out, that you can sample. Tubi has a ton of great movies on it for free. But I was actually kind of shocked. Like, you can watch me on YouTube. I recommend that. Watch me on YouTube. But there's so many great movies for free on YouTube. There's movies you can pay for as well, but there's a lot of great movies on YouTube for free that you can watch as well. So yeah, subscribe, like, comment. If these have Blu-rays attached to them or DVDs, I'll link some of that stuff down below if you want to, a quick way to access them if you are interested in owning them physically. Let's get into the stuff that I watched for the very first time because I'm really excited to talk about some of these movies. I started with Captain Ron. This is a movie starring Kurt Russell and Martin Short. This is one that I'm just shocked that I did not grow up watching, because if I did, and several of these on the list are kind of like that, I know I would have loved this movie. But basically you got Kurt Russell. He's this like sea captain type character, and Martin Short inherits a boat. He brings his family down because they're trying to transport the boat to this other island to sell it off, and Kurt Russell has to help them get the boat to this island, or maybe they're on an island, they're trying to get it to the mainland. It's something like that, but Kurt Russell's like helping them pilot the ship. But it's really fun. Kurt Russell just plays like a different type of character, just a very like goofy, like over the top comedic type character, which just showcases like the range of Kurt Russell. Like, he's so great in like every type of role and performance that he tries to play. He can be the badass. He can be the goofy, like over the top beach bum type character. He's just great. He's so great. I love Kurt Russell so much. And this movie, again, was just one that I was like, why have I not been watching this like my entire life? Like, I would have always loved this film. It's got really good like beach vibes as well. So it was perfect to watch like on my way to the beach. And Martin Short's really good. His wife is also good as well. I liked them and their chemistry together. The kids were really entertaining too. But yeah, Captain Ron, great movie. Really loved it. It's got no Blu-ray right now currently, but there's a DVD available on Amazon for 586. This is a Touchstone film, which is also Disney. I would love it, like, if somehow, like, if they came out with a 4K steelbook of Captain Ron, like, I would probably get it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've recently come out and said, I'm not getting any of these 4K steelbooks from Disney, Sony. I might get Captain Ron, but this would be perfect for, like, I don't know, like an Arrow Video 4K would be great. A Vinegar Syndrome VSU would be great. I would love a special edition of this. Again, I really enjoyed this movie a lot. It's kind of a, it's kind of like a 3.5 star film, but Kurt Russell just like really elevates it to like 4 star territory for me. But Captain Ron, yeah, that was the first time watch that I watched on YouTube. Available right now, guys, for free on YouTube in HD. It's not available physically in HD, but it's available on YouTube in HD. Next up, guys, we got a movie called Firstborn, and this is Corey Haim's first film. It's also got Peter Weller in it. I can't remember the name of the lead kid in it, the older brother, but I thought he was great in this movie. But this film came very highly recommended from Garrett over at the channel Born to Be Rad, who he was on my channel a few weeks ago in a live stream, and he's always been talking this movie up. And I thought this was a really excellent film. It's kind of a I didn't know like what to expect. I didn't know if this is like a horror film or something like that, but it's more like a drama. I would say this is more along the lines of a drama. You got a mother. It's definitely not a comedy. It's definitely not a comedy, but you got a mother that's divorced, and she's trying to find a guy. She's just trying to find a good guy for her kids, but the older brother's kind of taken over that father figure type role because their dad, I don't want to say he's like a deadbeat, but he's a guy that's kind of moved on. He's got a new wife. He's trying to start a new family, and he's still, doing stuff with the brother and the kids, but he's just kind of trying to move on from them. So the older brothers really had to try to like step up and run the household. So when Peter Weller comes in, which is the mom's new boyfriend, he kind of feels a little bit threatened. And also Peter Weller, I think, feels a little bit threatened by the older brother. Peter Weller's also like an alcoholic, and he just gets very mean and very volatile, like really quickly. Starts off nice as they always do, and then things just start to escalate. The mom kind of gets involved in some of the addiction. She kind of becomes an alcoholic as well. They're doing drugs, things like that. So it's just one of those films where things escalate. It's just kind of a family drama type movie. But Peter Weller is excellent in this movie as this like dick asshole like boyfriend who's very abusive as well. And I really enjoyed the film though. Firstborn, really great movie. Now there is a Blu-ray available. It's going for $16.18 right now currently on Amazon. So if you want to grab it on Blu-ray, you can, but also you can watch it for free in HD on YouTube right now currently. Next up, guys, we got Revenge of the Nerds 2. And I think this is Nerds in Paradise, I think is the subtitle of the movie. I watched Revenge of the Nerds for the first time a few years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. I think I got it on Blu-ray with like a Deadpool slipcover. Revenge of the Nerds 2 has no Blu-ray at all. It's got a DVD double pack with the first one for $20 currently on Amazon. But that's the only like reasonably priced edition of it that you can get on physical media at this time. It's also a 20th Century Studios movie, so that just kind of goes to show you why. But Revenge of the Nerds is very fun. I really enjoy that comedy, just kind of a, just an old school like 80s comedy, raunchy comedy, like an American Pie before the American Pie. Like this is where American Pie kind of came from, as these types of movies, Revenge of the Nerds. And Revenge of the Nerds very much is like just like the first one. It's just at a beach. You got a group of nerds and they're trying to stand up to the jocks, the other like cool fraternities and stuff that don't want them there. But the big difference between this one, the reason why I think this one has just a slight edge, like I still think the first one's better. I just think it's more iconic. It's got more iconic moments in it. But the second one has Bradley Woodford, who is excellent, like as the dick, like villainous, like frat boy. And he's great in the movie. So I think he kind of elevates this a little bit to kind of match the more iconic likeness of the first one. I think he's just a really good, like dickish heel villain in this film, but it's still fun. You got all the classic characters, all the same actors that you know and love. Anthony Edwards has a little bit more of a reduced role in this. I think he kind of became a little bit more famous after Top Gun. So maybe he just didn't have the time for Revenge of the Nerds Part 2. So he's kind of a reduced role, but everybody else came back to play the iconic characters that they did in the first one. And it's very fun. I enjoyed Revenge of the Nerds Part 2. Definitely needs a Blu-ray. Hopefully, 20th Century Disney puts one out at some point. And next up, this is kind of a weird one. I would be surprised if anybody in the comments section, I'm sure there's some people that's seen it, but I would be surprised if a lot of people in the comment section have heard of this movie before. But a movie called The Night Before, which is starring a very young Keanu Reeves. This is like Bill and Ted era Keanu Reeves. I think this came out in 1988. And Lori Loughlin, who also is Aunt Becky from Full House, and they're going to the prom together. Like Lori Loughlin loses a bet and she has to have Keanu Reeves take her. Keanu Reeves is playing like a dorky nerd character, which doesn't really fit Keanu that well. Like he just has this natural, like cool persona to him, but he's playing more of a dorky type Bill and Ted character for sure. But they go on the prom together and they get lost in the wrong side of town. Like Keanu takes the wrong turn, like going to the prom, and he ends up in just this really bad neighborhood. And he gets like drugs slipped in his drink. He passes out. He wakes up. Lori Loughlin's gone. And he doesn't know where he is. And I like the movie because it tells the events like very out of order. Like you start with him waking up and then all the pieces it's almost like The Hangover in that way too, but all the pieces are coming back together. He has to retrace his steps. He has to try to figure out like what happened. Where is Lori Loughlin? Like where did she wind up? Like he has to get her back. Her father's like the lead, like detective. He's like a police officer. He's on their ass as well. And this one just really reminded me a lot of Martin Scorsese's After Hours, just somebody that gets like stuck and lost in the wrong part of town and, just doesn't know where they're at. And just everything feels very like dreamlike. Like this movie really is kind of a fever dream as well. But it's a good one. Like I think if you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth checking out. And again, it's on YouTube right now in HD for free. There is no Blu-ray of this at all. There was a DVD that came out a number of years ago. It's available on Amazon for $8.86. It is a Lionsgate film. I think this would be perfect, honestly. Like if Vestron Video did this, if it was part of the Vestron Video line, like I think it would be a perfect title for Vestron Video to tackle, just because like it's not a horror film, but it's just a very like weird, strange, like dreamlike type film. Again, much like After Hours for sure. But yeah, The Night Before, let me know if you've seen that one. There was a Night Before that came out back in 2015. It's got Seth Rogen in it. Not that one. This one has Keanu Reeves, Lori Loughlin. Let me know if you've seen that one in the comment section below. Next up, I checked out Vice Versa, which is a film starring Judge Reinhold and Fred Savage. And there's a Blu-ray of this available from Mill Creek. It's only on the Mill Creek website for $14.98. It's not on Amazon at all. So there is a Blu-ray available for this, but this is like a Freaky Friday, like body swapping type film. Fred Savage plays the son, Judge Reinhold plays the dad, and they swap places because of this like ancient African artifact. And when they're around it, it's this whole thing where Fred Savage like, you don't know what it's like to be in school now in the 80s. And he's like, you don't know what it's like to be a businessman. And he's kind of like, I don't want to say he's an absentee father, but it's kind of like Liar Liar a little bit, where he's just like so involved with his work. He's divorced and he's got his kid for the weekend, and they're together and they start arguing, and there's this African artifact and they switch spots. It's a good one. It follows all the tropes like of these same types of movies. It doesn't really break the mold in any way, but it's still very fun. I think what like elevates this one a little bit is Judge Reinhold's just very good at playing like a 10-year-old boy. And Fred Savage had like the acting chops at this time. Fred Savage was a very good child actor. He had the acting chops to pull off like playing an adult as a kid. And I think he does a great job. So there you have this situation where you have two really good actors that have to like play a kid, play an adult, and they both do an excellent job. The movie itself, very basic, follows a lot of familiar beats. There's really nothing new here that you haven't seen before, but I do think the performances of the two actors kind of elevate this one a little bit. So I did enjoy Vice Versa quite a bit. Next up, and this was probably my favorite of all the movies that I watched for free on YouTube during vacation, but I watched a movie called Stay Tuned, starring John Ritter from 1992. Now, I had heard about this movie before, but man, was this a wild experience. Again, it's about a couple that gets sucked into like an alternate like TV universe, but like the amount of creativity in this film was really astonishing. Like this is one that for sure, if I had checked out when I was a kid, like I would have loved this movie. Just all the parody stuff, like Wayne's World is in this movie, the game show, the Western setting, like they really tackle like everything that goes into like the TV verse, like all the different genres and all the different types of TV. So even like professional wrestling as well. But yeah, this was a really fun movie about a husband that's addicted to TV. His wife's getting ready to leave him, and they both get sucked into the TV after he gets a satellite dish from pretty much a demon from hell. Like there's like hell satanic stuff involved in the movie as well. It's really wild. But I enjoyed it like a lot. Like this is one that it has a Sony Blu-ray for 2584, but I would love it if this got like some kind of like boutique treatment with a bunch of special features and stuff. And John Ritter's just so incredibly likable. Like I've always loved John Ritter since like, it's a 1990 miniseries, also Problem Child movies. So this is just fun to kind of see him in this type of role. I'm not too familiar with the actress that plays his wife or his kids, but everybody's good in the movie. Eugene Levy's in the film. Why am I blanking on the guy that's in Beetlejuice? But he's somebody that I feel like was canceled for some reason recently, but then he wasn't canceled. But I'm blanking on his name. But he's also in the movie, kind of playing. He's really good at playing that like creepy, like villainous character, like he did in Howard the Duck. But this is a really, really fun movie. Like I loved it. It was very creative and very original as well. So yeah, if you've seen Stay Tuned, let me know. I know there's a lot of you out there that have probably seen it. Let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section below. Then I watched a movie with Chevy Chase and Dan Aykroyd, Spies Like Us, which was also directed by John Landis. And this would have been a couple of years after Trading Places because this one came out in 1985. And this is a pretty fun movie. Just Dan Aykroyd and Chevy Chase is kind of playing reject spies that they kind of basically put over in this situation that's going on, in this like military situation that's going on in Russia, to be decoys while the real spies are like doing the actual work. They basically just set them up to die. And they have to like figure out how to get out of it. But it's a fun comedy for sure. I mean, you got Chevy being Chevy, which the more of the Chevy Chase stuff, because I've seen a good portion of Chevy Chase movies, mostly like the vacation movies. But the more like Chevy Chase stuff that you check out, because I think the same year was Fletch, the more you realize that Chevy really doesn't have a lot of different like types of personalities. Like he doesn't have a ton of range. He kind of just plays the same exact character in every single movie, but he's great at it and it's funny. So I guess it works. But Dan Aykroyd's really fun in the movie as well. And yeah, Spies Like Us, a good movie. I went into it thinking it was more like a parody, and it's not really. It's just kind of a comedy. But yeah, this one has a Blu-ray double pack with Funny Farm, another Chevy Chase movie, and it's going for $15.88 right now currently. But interestingly enough, like I was looking, like, is there a standard like regular Blu-ray of Spies Like Us? There's not a single version of it. You can only get it, and I think you've only been able to get it just in that double pack with Funny Farm. So this to me is like one that I feel like Kino would probably take at some point, maybe upgrade to 4K. But it's on YouTube for free, so check it out. It's a fun movie though, fun comedy. And lastly, I didn't watch a ton of horror, but I did watch one horror film right at the end. I watched a movie called Tourist Trap, which is from the same director as Puppet Master, the first Puppet Master movie. He might have did a couple of Puppet Master movies, and I'm blanking on his name, but it's one of like Charles Band's like first, I think, produced films, and it's from 1979. I've heard about this movie before. And this is essentially kind of a slasher film. It's a slasher film before the slasher craze really took off with Friday the 13th. So it's kind of interesting in that respect. But it's also kind of a supernatural film as well. Like the villain of the movie's got telekinesis and he can move around these like mannequins. And so it kind of gives off those Puppet Master vibes as well, because you have these inanimate like objects that are able to move around, like puppet type things, only they're not puppets, they're mannequins, but it's kind of the same type of thing. So it's like a slasher character that can also use like telekinesis at the same time, and he's kind of picking off this group of tourists that have come to this museum that used to be lively, now it's not, and they broke down. Of course, the same old thing. It's like the Wrong Turn, Texas Chainsaw Massacre kind of deal. This group of kids, they break down in this area and they have to figure out how to get out of it. They stumble across a man who's trying to help them, but he turns out to be different from what he's letting on. And it's kind of a whodunit as well. It's clearly inspired by Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The one interesting thing about the movie is that it actually got a PG rating because the movie's got like no blood in it. It's got no gore. And I don't think it has like a lot of foul language or anything like that either. So it got a PG rating and they were not expecting it to get a PG rating. They thought they made like a legitimately creepy horror film that would get a rated R rating just off of the creep factor, but it actually got a PG rating. So it's a very tame horror movie. Now, this does have a Blu-ray currently for 1420. It is the uncut Blu-ray because apparently Full Moon did a Blu-ray of Tourist Trap back in 2014. That was the censored version, or it was the cut up version, or whatever. They like removed scenes or something to do it. And then they added them all back in a few years ago and did the uncut version. It also has a 101 Films release, which I actually thought about getting because I did enjoy the movie quite a bit. Just a really good like late 70s, kind of early 80s. Again, it has that 80s vibe feel as well. It's got Tanya Roberts in it, who's always a treat to look at. You know, she's a very attractive woman from that 70s show is what I basically know her from, but Beastmaster and other stuff in the 80s. I know she was in a lot of fantasy type movies. But yeah, Tourist Trap, really good, really enjoyable, and it's free on YouTube. So there you have it, guys. That's the 10 movie recommendations that you can watch on YouTube right now for free. You don't have to break the bank. You don't always have to line your shelves with movies that you may or may not watch again. Maybe I should take that lesson myself, but this is just kind of what I do, guys. I build up the library. I watch movies. I like to give recommendations. And it was definitely nice for once to get on here and just talk about movies that you don't have to get online and purchase. But again, if you want to, I'll link some down below, some options that are available. But thank you all so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below on any of the movies that we discussed here today, and turn on bell notifications for all future videos, and we'll see you next time.